Ben, do you ever lie about your wife being your sister?
Yes.
I got one. Ask me if I like Studio Ghibli.
Jaimie, do you like Studio Ghibli?
Yes.
What? I thought you had something.
No.
I've got something.
Levi, do you think God could use someone as imperfect as you?
Yup.
Have fun. That's what I think of the new Ghibli stuff is, and the new AI, like image generation. That I think it was OpenAI, or I don't know who did it. GPT people. I think it's OpenAI.
Probably.
I thought it was really cool. I was like, this is neat. And the thing that's nice, like cool about it is it's image to image. So like you put in an image and you say, do this in Ghibli style, and then it does it perfectly. And you're like, oh, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I wonder if you could trip it out and like post like a style, like a cartoon style that's just not compatible with it and see what it would do.
Probably could. It won't do some things. Someone found its limit.
Like if you put like a picture of Bluey in there, I wonder what it would make of that.
Do this in Ghibli style. That'd be interesting.
It just makes an airplane.
Well, I'm going to get a free, or I'm going to get a month of it so we can do our thumbnails. So I'll let you know.
Okay.
Make sure you write it off.
We will.
I'll be calling you every day.
Yeah.
Ben, I thought of something else to put in there.
All right, type this. Here, I'm sending you the picture.
Just put messy.
Ben, what did you do all day? You've been up there for hours. Oh, I was creating images for Levi. That's my life now. Levi just comes over and he's up here for hours.
Oh my gosh.
What's Levi doing up there? Oh, he's just creating images.
I'm just thinking of two words to put together and seeing what it draws. The first one I thought of was puppy bonanza. It was horrifying.
Or cute.
No.
No?
And what was funny is when you said puppy bonanza, it was horrifying. A dog yelped outside.
Are you serious?
That's
Our
weird.
neighbor dog.
That's really weird.
It went. Roar.
I
That's
wonder
really
if the
weird.
mics will pick that up. That is weird. Never mind. Don't put puppy bonanza in there. Actually, every time you say that, a dog dies somewhere in the world. It's like the word Voldemort to them.
Don't say that word.
Don't say that word. What? I'm just saying puppy, but shh.
Don't do it.
Bingo.
Is there anything else interesting happening in the world?
Things have been relatively quiet.
Except for the signal leak.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was something. That was something.
I don't know of anything. I mean, I don't really watch any news stuff though.
What a podcast.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you later. We're done.
So if you haven't known Jesus.
And if you don't know Jesus.
Have you guys watched the recent episode of Joe Rogan? I guess he talked about the...
I wanted to see that. I was going to show it to you too.
I haven't seen that yet.
That's crazy. Jaimie, pull that up. Talking about vaccines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see that. This sounds interesting.
I'm sure they're very
I'm just
healthy.
curious. I don't know where his stance is, so I'm curious to hear what he has to say and who he has on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what he'd have to say about it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll know by how long it's up on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's how we'll get
they suppressed stuff. They've already suppressed when he did it with President Trump, I think. YouTube really suppressed it to the point where he even noticed and he was like, "Hey,
oh yeah.
What are y'all doing?" Like
yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me, but I want to see it cuz I saw it on my X feed and I was like, "Oh, Jaimie would be interested in that."
I forget that man, could you imagine if Trump went on Alex Jones?
It'd be a nightmare.
No, it'd be good.
It'd be a nightmare. I liked him on Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan's like, "Whoa, hold on." I like how Joe Rogan like moderates a conversation.
There's no such thing as lizard people, Alex. I'm telling you right now.
What was that?
It was just me tasting the air, Alex. It's very moist, very good. It's good air, the best air.
Great humidity in here.
Blink sideways a couple times.
Oh, that
I've
can
never
be
never seen Alex Jones, so
It's wild. The only thing I've seen is mostly clips because it's a little too crazy to handle. But they're funny.
Those clips I've watched, I get stressed out watching it.
That's
Really?
the thing. Yeah,
he's just so high strung. Like he has some, it's either he's just so high strung it like rubs off on you and you like get stressed out watching it, or he has some kind of demonic spirit that stresses you out when you watch it. I don't know.
It's gorilla mind rush.
Yeah, it's the gorilla mind rush. He's seriously so intense, and I've seen a couple clips, and the clips I've seen, it just stresses me out to watch.
I can't imagine living life that way. Like, can you imagine living life feeling so intense about everything? Like, that would just...
I think that's why there's road rage, because everyone feels so strongly about everything now.
Yeah.
Like, it just spills out into their everyday life. I feel like people have gotten ruder. I feel like just driving has gotten worse since 2020. It's just been terrible.
It's definitely gotten worse since 2020.
It's funny because there are a group of people that are exactly that. It's people that are addicted to, and be very careful on looking this up, gang stalking.
What?
Have you guys never seen the gang stalking thing?
No.
Oof. It was a phenomenon. Like, I mean, it's still around. I don't think it's as big as it was, but it's people that are just convinced that some government or secret agent organization is following them at any given time. And they have like a whole, put it on. They have a whole like logic to it. Like if you see so many of a certain car, that means you're being gang stalked. So they'll like keep an eye out for these cars. And if they see more than like a certain number in a day, they're like, I'm being stalked.
I didn't know that there were a group of people who agreed with me.
Well, it's wild too, because you can find videos of them confronting regular people and being like, I know you're stalking me. And the person's like, excuse me? You were following me this whole time. Like there's videos of that. Like there's videos of them going out and like confronting their mailman. Like it is worse than a sovereign citizen by a long shot. And it ruins people's lives outright because they start believing it. Yeah.
Yikes. That's scary.
I've seen similar. I don't think it's the same thing. I'm not sure if it's real or if it's just trolling, but I've seen similar videos of people like walking into stores and they're like, this person has been following me the entire time I've been in the store, and they keep running into the same person. Mm-hmm. And like,
it's a tiny store, Susan.
Yeah, basically, it's a tiny store. Or like, if you go into the store at the same time as someone else, mm-hmm. and you just happen to both do your grocery shopping, you'll probably run into them a couple times. Like I've had that happen a few, like even just this past week. It's that
it's one's own confirmation bias. It's when you're starting to look out for these things that you're going to confirm it. But I don't think it's as big as it was maybe 10 years ago, maybe 5-10 years ago. But it was a real big thing. Like there was a lot of people that believed that they were being stalked, and they would like keep an eye out, record at all times. And again, they would sit there and they had a whole logic behind it. One of the biggest things, again, was there was like a certain model of car where if you saw so many of them, that was almost like a confirmation.
It's weird.
No, it's very odd.
That's sad though. Like that's hard. Like
there was
live your life so stressed out.
It's
like
the paranoia.
I can't imagine like, and that's the cool thing about like following Jesus. There's joy that comes with that.
Peace.
And there's peace that comes with that. And so you don't
Security.
live a life in just constant turmoil.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what it was. There was this one pilot. He was like a really, he was making good money, but it ruined his entire life. Wouldn't go to work anymore. Just started freaking him out. Became a shut-in.
That's sad.
Yeah. He started filming. One of his most infamous videos was he was like filming out the window while like a helicopter was out there. And every time the lights would shine in his like apartment window, he'd be like, there, see, they're looking at me.
Yeah, that's a spiritual thing.
It's all spirits and principalities.
Yeah, it's a spiritual thing happening
that's
to you.
Sad.
That's rough.
It all comes in with just a hint. It's interesting is the internet kind of a double-edged sword. It's very, very good at spreading these things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small group of people will be like, hey, am I crazy for this? And someone will be like, no, you're not crazy. And then there you go.
Well, it's just like when they did that flat earth thing and they brought some of the most prominent flat earthers out to they paid for their tickets. It was like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, brought them to Antarctica.
Was it their food?
To observe the sun go in a full rotation. Because they said that the flat earth model, that's impossible. And so when they acknowledged it and said, okay, this is actually real, like, guys, we don't know what this means, but basically the sun does do this. And people on the internet were like, no, you're wrong. You're being a shill. You were deceived. The demons deceived you, and like just tons of different like rhetoric going out there, like just holding on to what they think was right about the earth. And it was just really interesting. I mean,
I'm going to say that I've never seen the Earth curve personally. And I don't know about you, but I've never been to space.
I did recently see a very convincing video that talked about how the dotted line of the equator, the reason why it's dotted is because that's where you close the book for bedtime. That's where you close the earth for bedtime. It's like a book. I thought it was really funny.
That is funny. That's really funny, actually. I was like, what? I was like, no, we don't do that here.
Oh, because you thought I was serious?
At first, I was like, what?
Come on, you gotta know me better, honey.
We'll have to discuss this after the podcast.
Excuse me, everyone. I must reprimand my wife. Levi, you're on your own.
You know me better than that. Come on, you should have seen the sarcasm. You should have picked up on that. Where were you? You're too tired. No.
Is it a scary story?
It has a scared person in it.
That's good. No, that works. I'll take that.
All right.
Okay.
It's a half-half.
All right, yeah. A little bit of...
You sold it to me. To me. You got me to bite.
Yeah. Meat in the middle. So, Abram had to journey to Egypt due to a famine.
Oh, so this is pre-Abraham Abram.
Yes. And he goes, and they basically get in front of the Egyptians and stuff, and he is afraid.
Wow.
He gets fearful that, hey, you know what? I have a hot wife.
I know the story.
Ben often relates to the story.
I do relate to the story, kind of.
Hopefully he would not redo what Abram did.
In a way, and I'll tell you why in a way.
Yeah, Jaimie, just hold that thought.
Several.
Because we'll get to where Abram and Ben will split.
I know the story.
And so
I'm familiar.
Abram says, this is not my wife. This is my sister. And so Pharaoh's like, got a hot sister. I'm going to pay you for her. And so he gives him livestock, treated him well, gave him livestock, servants. Okay.
Now, why did he say that was his sister?
Because he was afraid he'd get killed if it was his wife. And he was like, they'll kill me if I tell them it's my wife and take her from me anyways.
Yeah.
So
wild what fear will make you do.
Very wild. So
he's like, I've been watching a lot of those, some of those Americans.
Yeah. And
some of those ho-dunk
why
ones.
didn't they just try to make her look ugly?
That's a good question too.
It's not hard to make somebody look ugly.
I don't know. When you got a certain level of looks, you can't do it. You just can't do it. And she may have been on that level. Because the Bible just says that she was very beautiful. And he's like, she's very beautiful. Now, on the other hand,
they didn't have the technology back then. Not enough prosthetics.
Yeah, but they could have put like mud on her, or they could have
The Pharaoh had just been like, that's a hot mess.
God bless that mess.
Go on, Ben.
So Pharaoh took her to his palace, which implied that she was either a concubine or it went into his harem, something like that. And he gave him, sheep, cattle, donkeys, servants, camels, which was essentially the compensation because he thought, well, this is who's overseeing this woman.
Wild how things worked back then.
Yeah, wasn't it? And so the Lord afflicted Pharaoh's household, which with what the Bible describes as great plagues. And so Pharaoh's getting all these plagues. Somehow, it doesn't say how, but he put 2 and 2 together and he figured it out.
That was a dream, I think.
Was it a dream? I thought maybe
Nope.
there was a seer.
It wasn't. It wasn't with Pharaoh. He figured it out somehow. And he's like, goes back to Abram. He's like, why didn't you wait till my story's done? Everything will make sense. He goes, why didn't you tell me she was your wife? And he was like, I was afraid. And so he ordered him to leave Egypt. He's like, get out of here. You can take all your stuff. You can take the stuff I gave you. And so he made off pretty well. And so later on, Abraham and Sarah were living in Gerar. And it was ruled by King Abimelech.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
this is the dream.
Fearing for his life because Sarah was so beautiful, he again tells him, well, this is my sister. And so King Abimelech's like, oh, I'll take her, and pays him for her.
He didn't learn his lesson.
Twice.
God
He
is
was
a very
like, you know
patient
what?
God.
It went well the first time I made out with stuff. I'm going to do it again.
He didn't learn his lesson.
Also, how have I become so predictable, then? How have I become so predictable that you... Did you see how sneaky I was trying to be?
Yeah. Like, you gotta wait. You can't get on your phone and try and fact check me in the middle of my story.
He saw me.
I'm telling this story. I know what I'm talking about.
I was quiet too. I was going... Go on, Ben.
So the Bible says that Abimelech didn't yet approach her. So it's assumed that they didn't have relations yet.
I wonder if she did with the
Pharaoh.
With the Pharaoh.
It didn't explicitly say that the Pharaoh didn't approach her. So that's a very maybe.
Whoops.
It's a big whoops.
Yeah.
That's probably why they got the plagues.
Well, yeah. And after Pharaoh let them all go and everything is like a peace offering thing, he was like, okay, God took away the divine, retribution and healed his, what
His
was
palace,
going on. Yeah. So then God came to Abimelech in a dream and said, you are a dead man because you've taken this, the woman you've taken, she's a man's wife. And so God appears to him in that dream. He's like, you're dead. You're done. Scares the king so much. He gets up early, goes to Abraham, and he's like, what are you doing? Why'd you do this to me? And he pleaded with God. He's like, I thought she, they told me it was his sister. And so Abraham is like, yeah, sorry about that, but she is my half sister. So I didn't technically lie. And you just go,
Sweet home Alabama.
yeah, you're like, all right, bud. All right. So
it is always wild how human the characters in the Bible are. They're very
'cause
human.
They were
very
human.
flawed.
Yeah. So he returned.
The heroes of faith.
Yeah.
It's true, but I mean,
They are.
But they
some
go
of the
through a
most,
growing process just like everyone else.
They are some of the most flawed people you'll read about.
definitely helps keep your own sins kind of in perspective in a lot of regards. Not to say that, your sins aren't worse, but for people who are like, I've gone too far.
But
Yeah,
it's,
God will never love me. I've done too much.
I think the reason why they're recorded and why they're seen as heroes of faith is because of the redemption
Yeah.
that takes place.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And how God uses people. You don't have to be perfect to be used of God.
Yeah.
It's got to be available.
Exactly. So he tells him, oh, it's my half-sister. So he returned Sarah and then gave Abraham sheep, cattle, servants, and 1,000 pieces of silver as goodwill. And he also let them settle anywhere in the land.
Oh, okay.
Is there another leader or ruler that we can go visit?
Right. Come on, Sarah, this is a good gig.
Let's go see if this will work a third time.
Look, Sarah, I mean, sister. Wink, wink.
She was just Sarai at that point, right?
The Abimelech story, she was Sarah.
Was she? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I did misspeak, though, that God healed Abimelech's household after Abimelech offered all that stuff.
Poor Sarah was probably just like...
But not Pharaoh?
I would assume he did, but doesn't... I didn't see that, so... So yeah, Abraham, he not just once did this thing, but did it twice. And you just go, this is really weird. This is really weird. You had to do it twice to learn that, you know what, God's got your back, that God's going to protect you and keep you. And I think that's a good testament, though, even when we do make mistakes, that God turns those mistakes for our good.
Yeah.
You know, I saw this thing today I thought was really cool, this old pastor, preacher guy, and he said, you know, the biggest sin was crucifying the Son of God. And the biggest blessing the earth has ever seen was the crucifixion of the Son of God and his resurrection. He goes, if God can take literally the worst thing and turn it into the best thing, he can take any situation that we're in, any decisions we make, and if we obey him and repent, he turns it into the best thing.
Yeah.
You should have saved that for like another week or two.
Why?
Because of Easter.
Well, I can say it again.
We just do it those TV shows that recycle stuff.
Yeah.
We'll just literally replay the whole thing over.
Yeah, just
copy and paste.
Just a really awkward cut. Just that's the worst.
Welcome to the latest episode of Faith Hacks. Wait a minute, did I see this last week?
Just do a slightly different opening so it keeps people off guard. They're like, wait a minute.
It's the Mandela effect.
Oh no, not again.
Ben's shirt was yellow. It's blue now. It's blue. I remember.
But yeah, I think it's a cool story, though, like how God does use our mistakes and does use imperfect people like we were talking about, and just totally rewrites our story when we let him and just allow him to work in our lives.
Well, the amazing thing in the Bible, too, is just how imperfect the people in it are.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of, I guess, you read about like a lot of fairy tales, legends, whatever. They all have characters that may be flawed, but end up, it's always like within the realm of like, I guess, fantasy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not real people.
Yeah.
The flaws usually have some very heroic change, and stuff, but they're people in the Bible. They're just people.
Right.
They're just real people. I mean, it's because it's a historical document. Again, people want to debate this now, but you keep finding historical evidence being brought up over and over and over again, supporting the Bible.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those things. And so even the way that the people are presented is just human.
Yeah.
It's just very,
it's
very
an
human.
account of
Jonah's
what those
ending
people
isn't
actually did.
I mean, like even Jonah, his ending isn't particularly
good,
glamorous. It's not glamorous. It's not good. It's not dramatized. It's just he ends being grumpy in a tree.
Yeah.
He's like, man, gosh darn it. That's the end of his story.
Why did you save those people, God? I don't like that.
It's also weird when you think about how... You checking that thing right there? You checking that little red dot?
You're good. Go ahead.
No, I was checking it too. When you think about it in the grand scheme of things, how few people the Bible actually what would be the word? It's just interesting how, what's the word I'm looking for? There's just not that many people.
It records the peoples
in
the Bible.
But it's like, you kind of look at it and there's just not that
or
many.
how detailed records are of certain people.
Right. But I mean, like even with like angel visits, you look at how many times that angels are, visiting in the Bible. There's tons of mentions of it. But in the grand scheme of things, in the grand history, there's not a ton of people that were visited.
Yeah.
I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it records what you need to know. It's not a comprehensive like history of the world, but it records.
It is a comprehensive history of lineages, though.
Yes, it's comprehensive.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Very importantly, a comprehensive book of lineage and things like that.
Or even,
but it gives you. God made it in such a way that it gives you everything you need to live life on this earth and live it to serve and please Him.
You think there's more? Do you think there's more meaning to how they talk about like how the temples are built?
Yeah, I do, but I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head right now.
I was like, yeah. Next topic.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
like how
it's just
what they used to build them, the significance behind certain things they did. Like I was
like when it's specified in the Bible, like using specific trees and
because there's meaning
the
to
dimensions and all. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's meaning to it.
It's just very dry on those parts.
Yeah,
sometimes
those
can be. But I think
be,
that's the cool part where you actually start looking into the historical accounting of it and like what was happening in the cultures at the time when it was written, in that culture at the time when it was written, and
even how to deal
like
with diseases.
And it's really cool on like the stuff that you can pull out and go, okay, I understand why this was said now, or like why this was there now.
The lineages being so well documented, just to say, hey, look, like we've documented this.
Well, that and
these
it
aren't
just
fictional
shows,
characters. We've documented how far back.
Christ's lineage through the whole Old Testament. Like, you can find Christ's lineage starting from Adam all the way through.
Well, and not only that, but it also it lines up with what our population, like, how do I say this? So the way that the world populated lines up with what happened biblically, if that makes sense. So
that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've actually seen a lot of videos where I
didn't think about it.
If the earth were so many years old, we should have way more people. If it were billions of years old, that we should have more people on this earth. And so like people have actually done studies on how it started with Adam and Eve, and then, if you populate at whatever rate that they decided,
rabbits on crack,
it would, they also calculated in the flood as well, and how there was a decrease and how it would have to increase again. And it lines up basically with what our current population is, like mathematically, which is really interesting. I'd have to find the video, but it's really interesting.
We should look at that because that's really cool. But they did not like rabbits because, like, if you read the Genesis account, like it takes them like hundreds of years before they have their children.
Yeah.
Ben, I don't appreciate being told like that.
I don't appreciate that.
Being corrected.
Being fact checked.
On air, Ben.
Do it off air.
People seem to think I'm the smartest, okay, Ben?
You should just listen to me and take my word for it.
It is funny, though, you bring up Adam and Eve. Another thing that I've been seeing recently on the internet is there's this really popular thing. We bring up the allegory joke, the poetry joke. Mm-hmm. There's been a very popular push of Adam and Eve don't actually simplify Adam and Eve, and the snake wasn't an actual snake. It's like all in your mind.
That's a pretty old lie that.
But I'm watching it get brought back up. Like you're watching just every Christian video. I'm seeing there's been several I've seen that posted recently where it's getting tons of upvotes, likes, whatever you want to call it. But they're like, oh, the garden represents your mind. And Adam and Eve weren't actually real.
The garden of your mind.
And the snake represents deception sneaking in.
Yeah.
And the fruit represents a lack of self-control. And the weird thing is, they're not necessarily 100% wrong, in terms of like representation. It could represent
like
these
the
things.
metaphors.
Right. It could be metaphors.
Yeah.
But if it all was fake, then why does it proceed to go on and do what you said and list the lineage, go on with Adam and Eve's lives, talk about the children they had? It's like, where's the symbol? Where's the symbol?
Well, there was also a long period of time, a popular theory that Jesus didn't come in the flesh, that he wasn't a person.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? I've never heard
You've
this.
not heard that?
It's just it's been a long thing. Literally, there's so much evidence now that
just within like the last decade, I think.
People are just like, well, we can't really deny it. Like,
wait a minute, but
even the most staunch atheists, like professors and stuff, will say, yeah, Jesus was a person.
Jesus was a person, but he was just a preacher, or he was a prophet, or whatever.
But for the longest time, people said Jesus wasn't even, like, he was a fictional, or he was mythological, and he wasn't real at all. And then now they can't say that because there's just so much evidence,
like archaeological evidence.
There's too many historical documents that we found that are outside of the Bible that talk about Jesus. So there's too much.
And his followers too.
And there was too many atheists and people who hated Christians who talked about Jesus as a real person in historical times. So they can't deny that Jesus was there anymore. So that Jesus wasn't there. So they're like, well, but it's still fabricated, but they can't. But there was a thing where like, oh yeah, Jesus wasn't a real person.
And all it is, it's just Satan trying to stir up disbelief. That's all it is. He's trying to take whatever route he can to get people to not believe in the miraculous that God has done.
Yeah.
I mean, we can see how fluid science has been lately. How easy to change.
The science.
How quick and easy to change it has been by the week.
You mean I can be something else?
Just remember to hug your beagles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hug your beagles.
Hug your beagle tighter tonight.
Oh, gosh.
Speaking of like discoveries and stuff, a more recent discoveries come out about where Jesus was, his tomb.
Ooh.
And so the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was built supposedly on the tomb of Jesus.
Okay.
And or around or whereabouts they thought he was buried. And they were remodeling in 2022. They decided to remodel the floor, I guess, in the basilica. And so they were like, hey, this will give archaeologists a rare chance to actually dig under the floor and see what's under there. And so they found a bunch of stuff, but they tested like the dirt and stuff. Like they went down to the layer where, like, because you have different layers for the time and everything like that.
Right.
So they went down to that layer where Jesus would have been crucified and buried and resurrected 3 days later, and they took dirt samples and things like that. And they found pollen from an olive trees and grapevines. The significance of that was it was because the Bible in John's account talks about how Jesus was buried, like, I think it was near a garden.
Garden of Gethsemane?
No, it wasn't the Garden of Gethsemane, but it just talks about like where he was buried near the garden or in a garden. And so those soil samples kind of reinforce that that account, which is really cool.
If it's the tomb of Jesus, where's his body? Checkmate, Christians.
Oh my gosh.
Checkmate.
Checkmate.
Ready for your rebuttal.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was near the side of his tomb. So
it's funny. I have seen that argument.
Really?
I have actually seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an
It's
argument.
come up a couple times.
Really?
This is the burial site. Where's his body?
I mean, that's a perfect opportunity to present them the gospel message, really, because they obviously don't know it.
So look at Ben putting us in our places. We're laughing about this. Ben's like, that's an opportunity, guys.
That's an opportunity to share Christ.
What's wrong with you, Bo?
What's wrong with you? Get your heads into eternity.
WWJD.
Yeah, what would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do? What would he say?
But that's a crazy argument. But
yeah,
I'd just be like,
What would the answer be on that, Ben?
My answer would be, well, let me tell you about Jesus and why there's no body there. You see, he died, but he rose again. Yeah. That
he
is
rose
the
from the dead.
Foundational doctrine of the Christian belief is that the person of Jesus, he died and he rose again.
And with such convincing evidence that he was able to turn the apostles who were afraid of death to run straight into it.
Yeah.
Including one of the most prolific haters of Jesus through a supernatural means.
Yeah.
Like I said, Paul is very interesting.
He is.
The more I research Paul, the more I'm like, initially I didn't like this guy because he was mean. But he wasn't mean. Well, he was mean. But he has a very, very interesting story in the Bible.
Yeah.
It is to show a supernatural conversion.
Yeah.
One that could only happen through the power of Christ. Like if you research Paul, you're like, this guy, in no way, shape, or form should he have become ever a Christian.
Yeah. They also found during this excavation the stuff that doesn't really pertain to the tomb.
Okay.
But they found Crusader era graffiti etched into the wall, which is kind of cool. They also found remnants of earlier structures and stuff like that.
My word, what? It's an ancient Game Boy.
Ancient Pokemon.
It seems they stole the idea. You used to catch all the angels.
Yeah. They also did find burial evidence too, like beneath the floor. They identified traces of traces of rock cut tomb consistent with the Jewish burial practices of the Second Temple period, which was the 1st century. This aligns with the site's traditional association with Jesus' crucifixion and burial, as described in the Gospels. The tomb features were found in a layer beneath the later construction, suggesting they date back to pre-Roman and early Roman period.
You memorized all that.
I did. That's why I was looking down at my iPad while I said all that.
He was looking at pictures.
Yeah, I was just looking at pictures. I have a mind palace, and when I look at something, I open up my mind palace and go find it.
I am there.
I am there.
Oh, boy. That's wild. You know what actually is kind of crazy is to think that all these years later, we're still finding stuff.
That's what's cool.
Like just groundbreaking archaeological discoveries.
Right.
I mean, they just found that tomb. You're finding tunnels under,
Oh, the pyramids?
It's just the tip.
Oh, yeah.
That was wild.
That is wild. They're not
I forget
just
how far they go
tunnels.
down, but they're like these circular or these cylindrical things.
Yeah.
I wonder go down and then they think that there's also like a city basically
underneath.
There's something under those cylinders.
It's just the tip.
Yeah.
The pyramid is just the tip.
It went down really far too. And it's like, how were the pyramids made? Because like even you look at how they align with astrology, how they are perfect, how they're cut, how like impossible it was for back then.
How they're like put together.
Yeah, how they're all put together and everything. And if you look at it and study it, it's really fascinating actually because it's really fascinating. So people are like, oh, aliens built the pyramid. And that's where that comes from. But
the ancient A's.
My, you can put that on my theory.
It's back.
My theory is they actually were
Nephilim.
Not Nephilim. Jaimie disagrees.
I thought that's what you said. That's what I say.
I think it was knowledge from the fallen angels. That when the angels came down.
Tomato.
No, it's not.
It is a little tomato.
No, it's not. Because Nephilim are the offspring of the fallen angels and the women.
Yeah.
The fallen angels or the watchers.
Taught the Nephilim.
The fallen angels.
There you go.
Ben's a semantic player. He plays semantics.
No, but that's where you get I think that's where you get Anunnaki and all that other stuff. And like these gods that come down and, give these.
Jaimie, having the wrong theory on this, it's a step away from hell. Okay, I'm just saying.
we should take this as gospel. No.
This
is all theory. Like, this is all theory crafting. This is nothing to do. Like, this
personal
will, nothing
opinion.
to do with.
Yeah.
This is my personal opinion of it.
Yeah.
But I just think it's interesting. Like, you have all these like mega structures like the pyramids all around the world, Göbekli Tepe, things like that, and you go, there was some kind of knowledge and impartation of knowledge to these people that we do not have. And it's insane.
I mean, I guess it's a little crazy.
I guess. I've seen crazier on a Tuesday.
I mean, heck, when I take off my shirt, I see crazier. You haven't seen what's in my belly button. There's ancient technologies hidden away in there.
Gross.
Micah's.
Just like a little... What?
You know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
There's
Good grief. Anyway, we don't need to talk
PTSD
about that.
over that.
We don't need to talk about that. But anyway, I have a little fun fact. I have a little fun fact of, since we're on the subject of Egypt and stuff. I'm not going to go into all the stuff that that you and I discussed earlier, but I've been doing a little bit of research on some Egypt, Babylonian things, and found out the god of Ptah, the god Ptah. Are you familiar with the god Ptah?
He has a funny name.
He does have a funny name, and it's spelled funny too. It's
I would never want to be the god Ptah.
Ptah, and it's Ptah.
Ptah. So that's my name, is it? Can I have a cooler one? No.
But what's really interesting is he is an Egyptian god who is believed to have spoken the world into existence.
Well, terrible name for a word.
It's a ripoff of Yahweh.
Yeah.
It's the Walmart version of Yahweh.
With a really lame name.
Yeah. That's why I said it's the it's the Walmart version.
Isn't that wild though?
Yeah.
I just thought that was really interesting.
It's pretty crazy.
That's what Satan does though. He just comes and twists things, and he doesn't he just twists what's already there.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
like,
It's a mockery.
yeah, it's a mockery. It's a mockery of God. So, yeah, we should do a deep dive into pyramids sometime because it's
for sure.
a fascinating topic.
What do you think if the world's still around in 100,000 years, whatever, and they're digging around what used to be Denver? What do you think they'll think about the tunnels that are under the Denver airport? Do you think that'll be a crazy find?
Yeah.
Or like how all of the national parks are
back on. It's going right back. We're not out of here yet.
It's all over the place.
how the national parks are all connected by underground tunnels, and yet people are always going missing at national parks.
Super weird, right?
No, totally unrelated.
Just makes me tired when I think about it too long. That's why I don't like to think about it too long. It just makes me sleepy. Before I know it, I've just changed the thought.
Just changed it.
I am very excited for a Denver airport episode.
Yeah, I need to look into that too. But we're going to talk about Easter in the next coming episode.
That actually aligns with
Easter
Denver.
Pagan.
Yeah, that aligns with Denver airport.
Yeah.
It goes hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Yeah,
There's also these weird church pillars that we can look into too. There's these church pillars somewhere that predict the future. Apparently,
what?
Yeah, they predicted the 9/11. They're where people have this theory that
Like
this
the
giant
dollar bill.
Ooh. But no, it's really weird. These ones are weird. They predict that a giant wave will take out New York City.
I need to look into that. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, I have all the fun ones.
Yeah, you do. I didn't know about that.
Mm.
We'll have to look into that.
We have a lot of episodes coming up.
Yeah, we
This
do.
is the primer episode to future episodes.
Right?
This is stay tuned. We've got things coming.
We got things coming.
don't
We have
got it
things we want to look at.
Take that mouse away from the unsubscribe button real quick. Real quick. Just listen.
And while you're touching your mouth, go ahead and like this video and share it with a friend.
And subscribe.
Resubscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, but if you have, unsubscribe, resubscribe. There you go.
Don't do that. That's probably bad for our channel. That's probably not good.
That's not how it works. You can just subscribe.
No.
Each of those count.
It counts.
It's a special kind of traffic.
Right.
Oh my. Yeah, it's a primer episode. Things to come. We've got the national airport. We've got Easter and how it's pagan.
how it's
I
not
want to
pagan.
talk about Lent too for Easter.
Okay, we
Lent?
can talk about Lent.
I'll try to do some research.
Fun
on that
fact
too.
about, since you talked about Lent, it jogged my memory of Catholics. Apparently the pretzel is a Catholic Lent invention.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really
my
fun.
gosh.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah. Fun
Well,
fact.
now I'm gonna really need a big fluffy pretzel.
I've been craving one.
Yeah, with like the cheese.
Like a German one.
Comment below what your favorite place is to get a pretzel.
There's that German place downtown.
Ah,
Is there?
we have the
We
best
went there
pretzels.
with your sister, remember?
Downtown?
It's somewhere in Indy.
You mean that cafe, the
Yeah.
one?
The one with the store with all the
Yeah.
knickknacks.
That's not anywhere downtown.
I don't know where it's at. I didn't drive there. I just know it's within the
I
loop.
didn't drive
We
there.
have the saltiest pretzels. How many?
But they do
you know?
have like legit German pretzels.
Yeah.
So
There's a difference.
yes,
Mm.
it's not the pretzels you get at the store.
We watched a movie about a German recently.
Bonhoeffer was good.
Yeah. I wonder if they have a Bonhoeffer pretzel.
No.
What if they do? What if there's a special promotion where it is a Bonhoeffer flavored pretzel?
That's weird.
What would that taste like?
I don't know.
Resistance.
It would taste. Give it a little resistance when you chew.
Resistance,
All right.
You know what was wild to me is in this Bonhoeffer movie, they were doing a Bible study and they were drinking beer during the Bible study.
It's
Okay.
just Germany for you.
Yeah, that's just Germany for you. I was gonna say that's kind of like Europe in general. Like
was
if
like-
you're not drinking wine, you're drinking beer. So
I was
Yeah.
like, Ben, where's our Bible study at? Look at this one.
I was like, no. But I told Levi, I said, it'd actually be funny though. Like, it would get popular. You do a podcast with two, like, kind of like bigger redneck guys. You call it Bibles and Beers. And they sit on the porch and they drink their beer and they talk about the Bible.
Bibles, beers, and bullets. You got your rifle behind you too.
Yeah, but it would be a popular show. I really think it would be.
Ben, stop giving him
Let's
ideas.
segue and start.
I want to produce a show
Yeah,
like that.
let's just you two.
We're gonna veer off. Me and Ben sitting shirtless with some khakis on in a lake.
I don't
Make
drink,
yourselves a little sunburnt. Go get a spray tan or
Bit hairier.
How is that alcohol-free IPA, Ben?
Oh my gosh, you're no fun.
It's pretty okay.
It tastes bitter and makes my tummy hurt.
I hate it.
That's
Thanks.
a great sign.
hand me some of that ginger ale.
Hell no.
That's Ben. He'd
I am-
rather have a ginger
I am,
ale.
yeah, I'm really into mocktails. I really,
Yeah, he is.
really into mocktails. So, hey, don't shake your head at me. I was going to make mango sticky rice here soon. I won't share any
For
with you.
me, not for Levi.
Levi's like, but you going to save me some, right? That's his eyes right now. You going to save me some, right? He's like, you got to save me some. That's his, you're going to hold some back for me face.
No. Nope.
All right. Well, if you made it this far, we have rambled long enough.
It's been fun though.
It has been.
And informative.
Yeah. Yeah. Except for the end here.
No, we talked about pyramids. We talked
No, I'm talking about our podcast part.
Oh, yeah.
The
Ben's right now
beers.
debating on
beers,
just
yeah.
how much to cut out. He's like, I'm going to have to listen to that 3 times. And if I get a check in my spirit on any one of those, it's out.
It's out. It's gone.
out. There's several scenes here where those might get cut.
Yeah.
Ben's
This is going to be a 20-minute podcast.
on a very special short episode. The crew.
Bibles, beers, and bullets. I think that's what you should call it.
I won't be remote.
And have a rifle in the background, and you got your
After every episode, we pew pew a pew pew.
We pew pew image of the devil.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh, your
There
dad
you
would
go.
love that.
Gosh,
Could
I'm
you
really
imagine
thinking about like
An
shoot.
offshoot, a alternate.
You could produce something like that, and it would be incredible. Like people would watch that.
You could pew
Now,
pew
I
a
would.
watermelon.
I personally would probably have issues with that, and I would never actually produce something like that. But man, it would
It'd
be popular.
If you're a beer drinker and you're watching this, Here's the idea. Eventually, you'll have to give up your alcoholism, but first embrace it.
Shoot.
Oh,
I don't even know. No.
Stop. First embrace it.
You got to first embrace it,
You know,
market it, make it.
Here's the thing.
Oh, man, what's he going to say?
Here's the thing.
What's he going to say?
You know, the Bible says, do not be drunk with wine,
Hmm.
wherein there's excess. So I'm like, you know, people are like, oh, well, I can drink, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, okay, don't. You know, Paul said everything is, you know, permissible, but not everything is good.
Yeah.
So, or not everything is not good, but not helpful for you.
No, Ben, I've been known to sip.
So
I've been known to sip. Choose your words.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to say, you know,
One sip is good, but
All
two
I'm
sips is
saying
close to
is-
hell.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm not like that. But I'm like, it really isn't something that is going to benefit you in any way. So,
Right.
you know, people want to die on that hill of like, I'm going to keep my alcohol. And if you feel that strongly about it, maybe you should look at it, because I've just seen too many people in addiction, and that bothers me.
What Ben is saying is that he can smell the brimstone from the bottle.
He can smell alcohol on people's breath, though.
I can. I can smell alcohol on people really well, actually. I'm very
Really well.
sensitive to it.
Yeah.
He can smell the brimstone.
It was
And
after.
in food. And in food.
And in food. It was after that one guy in, we went to an Indians game, and this guy was selling alcohol.
Have they changed the
But-
name to them yet? I thought they did. I hope
They did for the
Chiefs.
Ohio's.
Oh, okay. So they haven't changed ours yet.
I don't know.
I don't think
I don't
they
know.
have.
But regardless, he was there, and he was when they were still the Indians, if they aren't now. And he was selling beer, but he smelled. And he was drunk, so drunk. And he smelled of just so strong of beer. And then he smelled like he hadn't showered in like 8 days. And so both those smells like went together. And I was like a young teenager at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm never going to drink. After that experience, I was like, I'm good.
And he never has.
Yeah.
Never touched his lips.
Not to say. You like that, Levi?
That
We'll
should
put
be the
some
sound today.
AMS.
That's the ASMR I crave.
Yeah.
Ben's kissies on 2-hour loop. Eventually, you can hear a rhythm to it. It's really weird.
Make a song out of it. But yeah, whether you drink or not, though, the important thing is that you know Jesus Christ is your personal Lord and Savior. Jesus has a plan for your life. He has good things for your life. And to know him is to have life and have it more abundantly. So I want to encourage you that if you want to know Jesus, it's as simple as saying, Jesus, I repent for my sins. I'm sorry. I ask that you forgive me. Come into my life. I ask that you make me a new creation. Fill me with your Holy Spirit. And if you made that commitment to God, it's more than just going to church and being a good person. It's about reading your Bible and getting to know who Jesus is. And so if you made that commitment, reach out to us. We'd love to get some discipleship material into your hands to help you with your walk with the Lord.
Abraham walked with the promise in hand, but fear made him falter, forget where he stands. Told the world that Sarah was just his kin, trying to cover the truth with sin. But even through weakness, mercy was near. God held his word through failure and fear. He still moves through the broken and flawed, through liars and doubters, still chosen by God. Grace in the shadows, light in the fell hard. Peter denied with a cursing heart, but the cross was carved for sinners to see that mercy's not earned, it's given for free. They buried the king behind heavy stone, but love rolled it back and death lost its throne. He still moves through the broken and flawed, through liars and doubters, still chosen by God. Grace in the shadows, light in the gloom. Hope breaks the stone in the shape of a tomb. Imperfect hearts, yet his plan is true. He still moves, yeah, he still moves. The tomb is empty, the veil was torn. The evidence lives, he rose before dawn. Not a tale, not a myth, but the truth we sing. Our Savior is real, he's the risen King. Zidon moves through the broken and flawed, through liars and doubters, still chosen by God. Grace in the shadows, light in the gloom. Hope breaks the stone in the shape of a tomb. Imperfect hearts, yet his plan is true. He still moves, and he moves in you. From Abraham's fear to the cross on the hill, God uses the weak, and he always will.